It's time for Nitro Game Injection.
Mama said there was something special about me. The way the jewels just oozed out of my mouthpiece. Wise beyond my years, so young without fear, and so honest that she could never doubt me. I was innocent as doves, a gentleman above all else. All I needed was a little bit of love. So friendly with a smile that could light up a room. Put me in front of the games and yo, I was consumed. From Atari, I was on it, then the Mario and Sonic. It was always so iconic, any article I got it. Sunday school, I remember crying when I heard Jesus died for me. So I came back with a word for the homies on the block that was stuck in the stash spot. I was on the Hot Wheels and Matchbox. Went from rough play to drugs and gunplay. They told me to go away, you gon' be something one day. Every place I try to go, around the block, around the globe, they say there's just something about you. I leave them all struck from the start. Every place I try to go, around the block, around the globe, they say there's just something about you. I leave them all struck from the stardust. Can't quantify it or buy it. Used to try to deny it, but now they can't hide it. Sometimes I wish I could keep it private, but it's my job to share what I was provided. Every time that I open up my eyelids, I'm just wishing that I was one of the fly kids, settled as a hybrid. Mornings I would ride with cats who played with dozens till I was almost crying. Later I would side with kids who they tease, save them, and they flip and do the same thing to me. Grown up, no regrets on my choices. Speaking for the voiceless, some say I'm anointed, but I say it's just not true. Like my rabbi crew, they wanna rap on game beats just like you. Maybe, but man, it ain't a mystery. I'm just doing what I wish somebody did for me. Every place I try to go, around the block, around the globe, they say there's just something about you. I leave them all struck from the start. Every place I try to go, around the block, around the globe, they say there's just something about you. I leave them all struck from the stardust. I used to cry 'cause I was different. They call me goofy, mama call me gifted. Used to have it twisted, now it's so vivid. Got the game tight like a size 6 fitted. Murder was the case, but somehow we acquitted. Who could have predicted? Flourished in a field that I never knew existed. Now everybody with it. Love, that's the ticket. You dig it?
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Nitro Game Injection. I am your host, Kyle JCRB. And this is totally the first time I'm doing the intro to this show. It's definitely have not been fighting technical difficulties for the last 15 minutes that caused me to have to restart the show completely. No. That did not happen. No. You cannot tell me otherwise. That did not happen. That's been canonically erased from history. Except there was nothing to erase because it didn't happen. Anyway, how you guys doing today? Today has been a day for me. It's been a day. So, yeah. Oddly enough, most of it NGI related. Oh well. We're here now. We're ready to do this show. Really, truly, officially, finally. And I got a lot of good stuff lined up for you guys in the form of video game music, arrangements, remixes, covers. All that fun stuff is coming your way, including an interview with video game music pianist 88-Bit, aka Rob Kovacs. Gonna be talking to him for a little while. And we had a good interview, so we're gonna be listening to that a little bit later. And talking about, video game music on piano, talking about Marble Madness, because Marble Madness rules, and all sorts of other fun stuff. So, in the meantime, though, we've got some music to get to. And, of course, we started off there with Sonic Skillz, aka DCT, collaborating with Megaran with a song called Stardust from Sonic Mania, or Sonic CD if you're old school like I am. Or, if you're just old like I am. Because I'm old. I am old. And So are you, probably. If you're listening to this show, you just might be. You just might be. Anyway, to keep the Sega love and the hip-hop love going, we got something here from Creative Mindframe featuring K-Murdock and EyeQ. This is from an album called Sega City that just recently I discovered and have been enjoying because, you know, I love me some Sega. And this is some good hip-hop right here with some Daytona hip-hop. Can you believe that? So, this right here is Daytona USA, Daytona Skies Cruisin' from Creative Mindframe's album Sega City. Let's go ahead and get into it right here on Nitro Game Injection.
It's a flashback, I was just a little kid. SNES had me playing games a bit. It kinda fit, but really, I must admit that legitimately Sega games are the ones that hit home. Time burning trails, that's Sonic. I hope this feeling never ends. Chronic. I've been carrying a secret for years about my gaming preferences, so I guess I'm about to leak it. Let's take a cruise down memory lane, starting off how the Genesis came to be integral in my life. I'm talking literal, won't say it twice. The commercials I'm seeing excited me repeatedly. I mustered up the courage and asked my parents eagerly. I begged and I pleaded, this counsel that I needed, in hopes for my birthday I would definitely receive it. Let's take a cruise down memory lane. It's time to cruise, let's ride. Let's take a cruise down memory lane. It's time to cruise, let's ride. As we cruise by, take a look to your left. It's elementary school, I got the console. It was a gift from a neighbor. I couldn't believe it, I got my own. Man, this is crazy, the music is amazing, and I'm swapping games like I'm paraphrasing. This one's definitely for the ages. It set the groundwork like code on web pages. Remembering the failed negotiation with the Genesis, I figured for the Dreamcast I would focus on the benefits. The benevolence of my parents would surely be increased by the focused energy of my intelligence. But take a guess again, they said, focus on the school.
Where is this gaming going to go?
Yeah, I'm thinking to myself, parents are the worst, but your boy got another plan in the works, yeah. Let's take a cruise down memory lane. It's time to cruise, let's ride. Let's take a cruise down memory lane. It's time to cruise, let's ride. Come on, yeah. So we had a little party. Let that birthday money be the way that I get that Dreamcast in my life. Respect that hustle, cause I was like 12. You know it said that mind over matter mentality. Gotta stress that nothing gon' stop me, never prevent that console from booting up. You can run and tell that homeboy and homegirl to pass on gifts. Give me cash, straight money if you bring a rap gift. I'll say pass on this, that's like a massive diss.
But really it'll be a diss because I told everybody what my plan was when I invited them to the party.
Let's take a cruise down memory lane. It's time to cruise, let's ride. Let's take a cruise down memory lane. It's time to cruise, let's ride.
Nice. That was a relaxing block. Kind of good. Good stuff. Couple of Donkey Kong Country remixes in there because why not? That right there was Mesmonium with Forest Interlude from Donkey Kong Country 2, Diddy's Kong Quest. This is featured on Mesmonium's Bandcamp site, and I believe also on Mesmonium's album Greatest Hits that you can find on streaming services. So, yeah, nice track there from Mesmonium. Very, very cool. Before that, we had Insane in the Rain music, jazzing the place up a little bit with some Gangplank Galleon from Donkey Kong Country. That song goes places, man. It really does. The original's, amazing. It's one of those legendary songs, And that's a very different take on it from usual. Usually, there's guitars and it's metal. Not this time. Good stuff all around. And then, of course, Creative Mind, K-Murdock, and EyeQ started us off there with Daytona Skies, Cruisin' from Daytona, USA. That's Creative Mind Frame's origin story, I suppose. Hey, gotta love that Sega. All right. Well, I don't have any more Sega on tap right now, but I do have more VGM, because of course I do. We're switching gears, though. It's time to pull out the metal. So here's FamilyJules with a track from Bowser's Fury. This one's called Chase Giga Bowser. Let's go ahead and get into it right here on Nitro Game Injection. Let's rock. that right there was some rockin' stuff. You just heard GaMetal with Surge of Power from Mega Man Battle Network 6. In honor of the series, what is it, 20th anniversary? 15th? It's gotta be 20th. Yeah, it's probably 20th. A few remixers actually recently put out some Mega Man Battle Network stuff, which is cool. Battle Network weirdly gets so little love. It's very strange. Like, why? Why? What's going on? What's going on? So, good to see it getting more musical remix love. Particularly in the form of GaMetal there, but also Toxic X Eternity recently released something too, so actually like yesterday, so hey, go check that one out if you haven't yet. And then right there was FalKKonE with Luigi's Mansion theme from Super Smash Bros. Brawl, or Luigi's Mansion. You can go either way, I suppose. It's credited as Super Smash Bros. Brawl, so we'll go with that. That's featured on FalKKonE's album Intense Symphonic Metal Covers Volume 21. This guy has a lot of stuff. There's a lot of FalKKonE out there, so you gotta track it down. Track down all of FalKKonE's stuff. There was a lot. He has, let's see, how many volumes? Just regular Intense Symphonic Metal Covers. He has 25 volumes of that. And then he's also got a bunch of other albums that are like the Monster Hunter albums and NES, and it's just a lot. The whole Toho album, Undertale, robot stuff. It's ridiculous. Pokemon battle themes, metal album. It's a lot. So yeah, very prolific. Check out FalKKonE's stuff if you enjoyed that one. I know I did. And then FamilyJules started us out there with Chase Giga Bowser from Bowser's Fury. That definitely has song has a little bit of the world map theme from World 8 from Super Mario 3D World. There we go. What's the game's name? What's the whole game's name? So, and I love that theme, so I'm here for it. We're gonna keep the guitars going a little bit, but we're switching gears. We're not gonna go so crazy this time. Maybe a little crazy. Maybe a little. We're gonna chill for a second, and then it's going to get a little bit more intense. So let's go and get us into this track here from Ferdk. This one is from the game Celeste or Celeste. It's called Resurrections. Don't go away. This is Nitro Game Injection. Right there was some chiptune goodness from Mark Terrence. That was Stone Man's stage from Mega Man 5 in RRTL style. I am actually not familiar with RRTL. I believe they are another chiptune artist, would make sense. But did not have the chance to look them up before even starting this, so there we go. If you know who RRTL is, then maybe you got some more out of that than the normal person. But hey, you know, still, it's Stone Man, Mega Man 5. Still a great song. I mean, the Mega Man songs post Mega Man 3, you know, there's really good stuff in there that people, I think, kind of sleep on because they're like, oh, Mega Man 2 is the best. And then Mega Man 3, also good. And then Mega Man 1, well, it's a classic, you know? There's just those first three, you know? That first trilogy. It's like, come on, guys. There were 3 other Mega Man games on the NES after that. And then there was Mega Man 7. Also had great music. And we don't talk about Mega Man 8, do we? I don't know. I guess the general consensus on the game is that there isn't one. Some people love it, some people hate it. I'm not a big fan of 8's music, but that's just me. I'm just a weirdo. But I love all the other games' music, so there. Anyway, before that we had Schneider Souza with a track from Battletoads in Battle Maniacs. That was Ragnarok Canyon, a synthwave cover. Ooh, very nice. Had to get in some guitar metal stylings to the little bit of synthwave goodness there. Nice. I love that song, the original song. Actually, Battletoads and Battle Maniacs is a fantastic soundtrack. What is it with Battletoads games and awesome soundtracks? It seems to be kind of the thing. Like, even if you hate Battletoads, and I know people who do, it's you can't deny it's got some pretty kickin' music. And you know, the original NES games got that pause music. That pause music is legendary. Legendary. And then Ferdk started us off there with a track from Celeste. That was Resurrections. That's a game I still haven't played. Maybe I should get around to it, because it looks pretty cool and it looks kind of interesting in terms of its like story and stuff. But you know, a brutally difficult platformer. I'm not exactly chomping at the bit to play a brutally difficult platformer because I don't know. I'm a plebeian. I like to just chill. I like to just have fun when playing video games. And getting frustrated and doing things over and over again in video games, not necessarily super fun or relaxing to me. So, you know, kind of be like, I don't know. Might not be that bad. If it's like a Super Meat Boy where you instantly reset, it seems like it is. And it's like single screen stuff. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll like it. I'll have to give it a shot. Anyway, what you can give a shot to actually right now is my interview with Rob Kovacs, aka 88-Bit, a video game music pianist who's also a singer-songwriter and does a lot of other cool stuff. I sat down with him for about half an hour, just over half an hour, and we talked game music and just video games in general. We talked about making music and all sorts of other fun stuff. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it right here on Nitro Game Injection with 88-Bit. Today on the show, I'd like to welcome a special guest. He is a pianist and a singer-songwriter, composer, and all-around excellent video game music guy. I'd like to welcome on 88-Bit Music, or 88-Bit, or Rob Kovacs.
Just 88-Bit.
Yes.
Since there is someone else named 88-Bit Music.
Oh, no.
And who I get confused with all the time.
Oh, no. I hate when that happens.
He's a good guy, though. He's an excellent musician.
Okay,
also
cool.
Plays piano.
All right, well, that's cool. At least, you know, you're not like You're not fighting each other over the name.
No, that is how we met though, because we realized someone else has a similar name,
Right.
and
Yeah.
but he's also I'm glad I met him because he's a cool guy and he's a great musician as well. So, but he's on Twitch with the same name, 88-bit music, and I use mostly just 88-bit. However, for a while, all my social media was 88-bit music, so there was definitely confusion.
I can imagine. So, well, let's just start from the top and tell us about yourself, about your music and everything about that.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So I'll tell you a little bit about 88-bit. It's a piano project where I try to take NES soundtracks, Nintendo soundtracks, and arrange them note for note for the piano, and make YouTube videos, recordings, and do a lot of live performances, mainly at video game conventions, but also classical contemporary music events as well.
Yeah, I saw that. Are people surprised when the music is from video games that you're playing?
Yeah.
I'm assuming
very much.
They're very like, whoa, what? Video game music? What?
Yeah, especially people older than me, like my parents' age or my older siblings' age, who never played video games and certainly never considered the music at a higher level than like music you might find in like a birthday card. Like that's kind of how they view video game music. So to hear it, to hear my arrangements that are on piano and be played, and to hear how expressive the music actually is they're pretty surprised. I have a lot of people come up to me after the concerts, these classical concerts, and be like, "Wow, like I've never heard any of that music, but I loved it, and I just can't believe it's from a video game." That's my goal. Like I'm glad. Yeah, this music is great. It's written by real composers, and deserves to be heard, even if you'd never played the game or got far in the game. There's that too.
Oh yeah, for sure. I noticed one of the games you've covered rather extensively has been Marble Madness, which is a game that's difficult to get far into. Yeah. But then the music also gets progressively weirder and more ominous as it goes on.
It does. Yeah, the game is super hard. It's super hard. So yeah, and it's a timed game. So even if you do get far into it, each level you have less and less time to even hear the music. And if you do get really good, each level you're going to hear only a few seconds of the music because you have to whiz through the level. And there's only 6 levels. But the music is just so unique. There's no video game soundtrack quite like it at all. It's almost very contemporary classical in itself. I hear like hints of like Stravinsky or Debussy in there, and it's just so. And then rock music as well. It's so unique, and it works great on the piano. It sounds like a contemporary classical piece written for piano. And yeah, that's one I love to showcase. One, because I just personally loved the music, even as a kid. That third level is just so ominous, like you said, ominous and just demonic sounding.
Yeah, for sure.
And you don't hear that in video games. It's mostly pretty pleasant or pretty fun. Like especially when you think of Mario, there's nothing really demonic about it. The ghost levels might be the scariest thing, or the castle levels.
Castle levels, yeah, a little bit, but not quite on the level of like Marble Madness just being totally unsettling. It's just so wild. Yeah,
some pretty advanced contemporary music techniques, and it's a lot of fun to play, and certainly a lot of fun to arrange and play live.
How do you go about arrangement of video game music, translating that to piano?
It's a good question. So I want to be as accurate as I can. So first I have to decide what song I want to do, or what soundtrack I'm going to work on. I make sure that I've played the game generally, or if I want to do this game, I want to make sure I play through the whole game to understand how the music works, the whole soundtrack, and not just listen to a recording of it.
Sure.
So the music has to get my attention and I find it interesting. And then once I decide on a game to start working on, then I get the original sound file, so the NSF file, Nintendo sound file. I run that through a couple programs, FamiTracker with a plugin called NSF Import. So you can just take an NSF file, import it into FamiTracker, and it shows you all the different tracks and all the different notes that have been coded into the file. So I'm able to isolate every track, hear every track differently, but I can literally see every note as well to make sure that when I transcribe it, notation, that I have every single note. You can only rely so much on your ear, especially with, voices are in the same range and they're overlapping. So it's easy to make mistakes. There's like little details that you might not hear, like maybe a note is repeating, but you don't hear the attack because it's kind of masked because the note's fully sustained as well. So things like that can get lost. So once I transcribe it, then I try to arrange it. So Nintendo really just had three voices for notes, plus a noise channel which just sounds like all that kind of white noise. There's also a PCM channel or a TPCM channel, which is mostly not used, and if it is used, it's usually just more sound effects. But sometimes it's used, but whatever. Regardless, I basically have three voices to work with, and a lot of them are jam-packed with notes. So the trick is, how do I get all these notes into just two hands on the piano? And that's the fun part, trying to figure out how to actually play all the notes.
Yeah. It's definitely something that's like the songs seem like they're more written for generally like rock bands situations where like you have 3 or 4 voices instead of just 2. So to kind of condense it down into a piano arrangement, I can definitely see that being a bit challenging.
Yeah, I mean, definitely like Mega Man music.
Mm-hmm.
You can hear like Iron Maiden inspiration, and you've got the drums in the noise channel. Sometimes you have the wave channel, or not one of the triangle wave. Sorry, sometimes you have the triangle wave channel acting also as like a snare drum, like boom.
Yep,
boom.
yep.
You hear that kind of sound a lot. So yeah, it's very rock oriented, and then you mainly have a melody voice, and then usually a bass line, and then the counter melody line also kind of filling out the harmony, maybe doing some sort of arpeggios, but trying to fill up a lot of space. So yeah, that's where it gets tricky, trying to get all those voices, all those rhythms in there as well. Yeah,
and then some composers use the sample channel as like a bass instead of just drums. So instead of just noise, it's actually another instrument, which is very tricky.
Yeah, I only know a few games that do that. Fire and Ice does that.
Yeah,
where there's 4 voices, and yeah, the sample channel is the bass line. A lot of Sunsoft games.
Yep.
Yeah, they're really clever. So they use the sample channel. They'll also, and so then they'll use the triangle channel, but there's still only 3 voices. The triangle channel is mostly just a snare drum combined with the noise channel, if I remember. I'm thinking of Journey to Silius in particular right now.
Yeah. Yep.
So you know this stuff. You're
oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
I adore like NES 8-bit soundtracks are like my bread and butter. I love that era, and also I love the SNES as well. But I mean, I'm pretty familiar with.
Oh man, okay.
Going back to, I'm pretty familiar with video game music throughout the decades, as it were. And then I grew up playing a Nintendo NES, and then moved on to the Super Nintendo and the Sega Genesis and all that fun stuff. So,
you went both Nintendo and Sega.
Yeah.
Rare.
My drawback with that was that I owned very few games for either one of them.
Sure.
So,
yeah, because they were expensive.
Yeah, so I had the systems, but only a couple of games for each. So it's like, okay, well, that's cool. Thankfully, rental existed at that time.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Rental played a lot of great way to get to play a lot of games that you wouldn't necessarily buy or try before you buy type stuff.
Exactly. Yep. What about your gaming history? Where do you come from as far as that?
Pretty similarly and somewhat unique. We had arcade games in my house.
Oh, that
9
is
or
unique.
10. Yeah, we had like 9 or 10 arcade games. There's this one debate. There's a game that I remember having that apparently no one else remembers having. So there's a game called Star Castle that like never quite worked. Once in a while it worked, but I've asked my dad and he said, "What? We never had that game." So it's kind of strange. But we certainly don't have it now. But anyway, we had a bunch of arcade games and loved playing them. Games like Super Pac-Man. That was probably my favorite one. Centipede, Donkey Kong Country, not Donkey Kong Country. Donkey Kong Jr.?
Is it Junior?
Am I trying to think of the second one?
Yeah, that's Junior.
There we go. Where Mario is the bad guy.
Yeah, that's it. Yep.
So that's what I grew up on playing, and I tell you what, I loved Super Pac-Man. So we had the arcade, and we can open it up. There's a sound setting where you can just flip a switch, and you can play through all the different sounds. It was like 45. I'm going off my memory. Like 45 different sounds and little jingles in that game, and it was just so cool. Like it was just such a cool. I thought it was such a cool sound as a kid. I just kind of flipped through them and just listened to all the little different sounds from that game. Beyond that, we had an Atari that my sister had, and then I got a Nintendo as a kid for Christmas, and yeah, that's the best Christmas ever. And had some games like Karate Kid. Really frustrating game. Oh my god. And yeah, grew up playing Nintendo, Super Nintendo, loved all that stuff. And then went and got into more PC gaming, loved like Myst and Seventh Guest. And Seventh Guest was actually the first game that I ever tried to create the music or recreate the music. I had my little like Yamaha keyboard. I could do different tracks, and it sounded very similar to Seventh Guest, which was all MIDI essentially.
Right. Yep.
And I loved the music, so it was like I was about 7th grade at that time, and yeah, it's like this is so cool. And then I was able to kind of recreate it, and that's mainly it. PC gaming is where I stopped. I loved I would get like addicted to some of the bigger games and just like spend so much time in some of these bigger games. So I kind of stopped buying new stuff, in college and stuff like that, and focused mainly on music. And now I try and I just kind of collect retro games. So I got a lot of NES stuff and SNES stuff and an Oculus Quest. That's my gaming currently.
Wow. Okay, that's a bit of a jump
Quite a
there.
gap.
Yeah, a little bit.
16-bit to VR.
To modern VR, yes. Wow.
Yeah, modern VR, not Virtual Boy VR.
No. We don't talk about that.
No.
Actually, Virtual Boy. I think Virtual Boy gets a bit of a bad rap, and I mean the hardware itself, rightfully so. But it had some decent games with some really good music. Actually, it sounds very similar to like Game Boy and NES style music. So it's like an 8-bit kind of sounding, but it's I feel like there's like maybe 1 or 2 extra channels in there or something like that. It's not much more advanced, but just a little bit. And there's like some really solid tunes. Like there's a Waterworld game for it. This is a tie-in for it's a bad game as a tie-in for a questionable movie. And but the music is fantastic. It's like very ambient and like just sort of relaxing. It's very different from what you might expect. So yeah, it's interesting.
On that, was it Kevin Costner movie?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh wow.
Yeah. it's just kind of weird. It's kind of weird whether you find good video game music. You find it in some of the weirdest and sometimes even the crappiest games. Like,
yeah, no, that's definitely true. One of my best friends had a Virtual Boy, and I think I played it once, and that was it. Like we never played it again.
Yeah, it's definitely not good for playing for long periods of time. That's for sure. But
I would like to try it again though, since it's been so long. They're not easy to come by.
No, not really. It's not really much better though. But you know, modern emulation actually has done a pretty good job, and you can change the color from that garish red that they used, so that's also helpful.
That's nice. How
Yeah.
would the, oh yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't even think that you could emulate. I mean, of course, you can emulate pretty much everything.
almost. Yeah, but it's pretty. It's another way to actually play those games that I think it's otherwise
Might
gonna get
give us
lost
a
with
new life.
time. But yeah. So you want tell me a little bit about your original music? Actually, you just released an album in last month, an original album, and that was very cool and a bit different from your video game music stuff.
Yeah, well, yeah, sure, totally different. Yeah, I released an album called Let Go. It's all a bunch of original music, recorded with a band, you know, guitar, bass, drums, singing. There's also some strings on there, and French horn and clarinet in a couple songs. And it's music I've written like over 10 years ago. So before I did the 88-bit thing, I've been in bands, and that's been my main focus, main creative focus was writing music and playing in bands. And yeah, I've been working on this record for a while, and it took a long time to finally get mixed and released, and but it's finally out. I'm really proud of it. But yeah, not video game related at all. It's all context wise, it's all about one relationship pretty much from start to finish. And I tell you, the VGM community though has really embraced me and my music, and I'm really pleasantly surprised by that, and not too surprised, because the fact that since I've kind of made a way into the VGM community, they have been the best music community that I've ever been a part of. Like, people just love the music and love and support one another. It's not, musicians can be kind of, different music groups can be kind of cliquey and competitive at times, and the VGM community is not like that at all, which is amazing. I started 88-bit in while working on this, but like in somewhat of frustration. Like I had a band, and we just were, it was so difficult to get people to rehearse and practice and get things done, that I was like, all right, I've had this idea for a while now. I'm gonna start this 88-bit thing, because I don't have to practice. I don't have to worry about other people's schedules. I could just do this on my own, and I'll keep working on my record. And the thought was, people who might enjoy my music will kind of find this video game music thing on the side, and then they'll like that too. But it's really been the other way around. More people, like 88-bit kind of grew a little faster, and then more people who like that have also found my original stuff and really enjoy that as well. And that's been a really pleasant surprise.
Oh yeah, for sure. The game music community, I mean, I've been part of this whole thing for nearly 20 years, and it's been, we've had our ups and downs. There's definitely been some infighting. 20 years ago, we were kind of dumb kids, we were dumb. But I think as time has gone on, and people have mellowed out, and kind of just gotten a bit more relaxed, and generally just overall more supportive of each other. It's been great. So I can definitely see what people would be like supporting the supporting you, for sure.
So you know the history then, which I do not. I'm a fairly newcomer to the scene, so it's maybe I'll get more. I'll see more of the infighting as time goes on. But it's been pretty.
No, I don't think I'll see too much. No, nah.
Yeah, it's been. I mean, yeah, it's been pretty great. Is all I can say. Everyone's been really, like I said, really accepting and welcoming to not only me, but like other groups and other bands that I see, and willing to work together and collaborate. And that's really awesome and kind of rare, kind of rare.
Yeah, there's the video game music community. the different parts of the community, they do tend to, like, there just tends to be some crossover, and they do tend to, reach out and work together a lot. So, like, greatness recognizes greatness, I say. So, if they're reaching out to you and you're playing for them and all that good stuff, it's just one big thing that kind of builds on itself, and it's a more positive community than a lot of other ones out there.
I agree, 100%. 100%.
Yeah.
Even the Twitch community too. Like now that's especially since the pandemic, a lot of musicians turned to Twitch, and that's not necessarily video game music only, but the video game music people who have gone to Twitch, those communities are all kind of melding together and supporting one another as well there too. And that's another way that the VGM has connected with one another.
That's awesome. Tell me a little bit about the your Twitch streams and what you do on them and all that.
Yeah, Twitch has been great. So yeah, when the pandemic started, all my gigs were done. So just like any gigging musician, so I started turning to lives. Some live stream stuff popped up, and I started doing my own, and then have been committed to streaming at least once a week for almost, not quite a year, but almost a year now. Started on Facebook, and then eventually migrated over to Twitch. I had done Twitch like 4 years ago, kind of just dabbled with it, and like saw that it would be fun and it would be worth continuing, and then life got busy, and then I wasn't able to keep it up. But now I've been every week, and that's just under my name. So I just go as Rob Kovacs on Twitch, and that allows me to do everything. So right now I just mostly take requests, anything from pop music, video game music, jazz, classical, musical theater. I've done a lot of music, so I can just play. I just put it all out. People can request pretty much anything, and it's it's been a lot of fun. It's been people in the community in the chat are great, and it's been just a great outlet to be able to perform in a way. Also, that's unique about streaming is like I don't have to worry about if I'm playing like at a bar or restaurant. I don't have to worry about being too loud or playing something someone might not like. I can play whatever I want, and as loud as I want, which is a really freeing feeling.
Oh, I can imagine. That's kind of silly. Being too loud. It's like, what?
Yeah, like if you're playing a show, like at a rock club or venue, like you don't have to worry about being too loud. Like,
okay.
But if you're playing like I've done a lot of restaurant gigs or events. I play at the Cleveland Clinic regularly as well.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's really fun and rewarding. It's just once a week, and now I pretty much just only play video game music there. I used to mix it up, play a lot of pop music, and I'm just playing video game music for a whole hour, and it's actually great for like hospital stuff because it's good, it's pleasant to listen to, even whether you recognize it or not. But if you do recognize it, it has that extra added bonus, which is like putting you in a good mood. Like
exactly.
You can never. I can't think of an example where you hear a video game song, and like not be happy that you now are hearing the song that you recognize, versus hearing like a pop song that you might have an attachment to or that has sad lyrics to it. That can be the opposite. It can bring you down.
Oh sure, yeah. I mean, some games, hearing the music might get you angry just because you remember the game being so difficult or annoying. But you know.
But even then, I think it'd be it's like fun nostalgia.
Sure.
But I have played Marble Madness sometimes, and that's pretty frustrating. And no one was. They're pretty still excited. Like, are you playing Marble Madness? Like, yeah, you got it. That's it.
It's that stage 1 theme. I think is what gets people.
Oh yeah.
Especially that's a big crowd pleaser, I think. Boom, boom. Yep.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's the hit.
Love that one. I mean, I love them all, but that's the one that's like you can really hum and sing along to in a way, you know.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Totally. That's the hit. Now, do you know the history of that? You know that was originally an arcade game, yeah?
Right. Yeah. Yep. It got ported through all sorts of systems, But yeah.
And the melody for that one was different on the arcade version.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so
I don't know if I realized that.
Yeah, so I know the NES version, which was the original was composed by Brad Fuller and Hal Cannon, and then David Wise ported it to the NES, and he made a lot of changes, including the melody of that. So
Okay.
my arrangement is based on the NES, so that was the NES. Here's the NES. I'll play both. NES.
Okay.
And here's the arcade melody.
Okay.
One little note difference.
Yeah.
But it also kind of changes the harmony. It's less sinister. Those fifths aren't in there. But the melody's different. That's a big change, and I debate should I be playing it that way? Should I play it true to the original, or I go back and forth?
I think most people kind of recognize the NES version because that's also I'm familiar with both the NES version and the Sega Genesis version, and the Genesis version also sounds pretty much just like the NES version.
Yeah,
So-
most of the other console ports are based off the NES version musically, which is
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah,
I think maybe the Amiga one that might be based off the arcade.
possibly. It kind of depends on who did the port for it, really, and that's just so many different ports done by different people of games in that era. Where there's little differences between all of them, so it's kind of fascinating, actually.
Yeah, no, it is, especially like that. We listen. The version that we all know is the cover of the original.
Almost, yeah, in a sense, yeah. But it's definitely I think it's the more well-known version.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
that's a fantastic song. I can definitely see that probably gets a big pop.
Oh yeah. Well, I usually when I play it, I do the whole soundtrack, and as a complete soundtrack, it works great. It's just that the 6th level, the ultimate race, is just in your face. It's a great climactic moment, and all the different emotions that you go through wrapping up to it. The whole soundtrack just works as a great piece on its own.
Yeah, for sure. My friend Stemage, actually, he's a he's a metal
Grant.
guitarist. Yeah, I don't know if you're familiar with his Marble Madness
yeah.
EP. Okay.
Oh, 100%.
I was gonna be like, okay, have you heard this yet? It's like this super prog metal version of Marble Madness that is just absolutely insane. And
Where good marbles go to die.
exactly, that's right. Yep.
Yeah, no, I found him because he did that. I was looking up other versions of it and didn't find any other than his whole album on Marble Madness. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so awesome. It's so creative too. He didn't just cover the notes. He did his own version of it, taking the songs and making something totally different, but still where it's recognizable. And he was very detailed with it too.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
He put a lot of love into that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that I love that you know him. And so I reached out to him mostly about licensing issues. Because, oh my God, you probably know this already too. But yeah, licensing, releasing video game music that hasn't been officially released is very difficult.
Yeah.
And that's a soundtrack that will probably I take that back. It has been released on some sort of Atari music compilation thing in Japan somewhere.
Yeah. It's just tricky. It's real tricky for rights issues for especially older tricky games, but
because I write out all the music on sheet music, so eventually that other people can play it as well. And again, same copyright issues there. You can't just legally release sheet music. I mean, people do, but
yeah,
I'd like to be able to do it legally eventually.
Yeah, but 15, 20 years ago, this wasn't even really a thought. It wasn't really considered. Most of these songs were just released for free download or things like that. Never thought about really making money off of them. Well, no. I mean, the arrangements people were making.
Oh, right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, people were releasing for free, and they never really had any
release it for free.
Thoughts.
Still not technically legal.
It is not technically, no, but It's a fan made, fair use kind of gray area, technically not legal. So yeah, it gets tricky for sure, and he's a good guy to talk to though for that, because he's been in the game for a while, so he knows.
Yeah, he does.
I think he's one of those guys who knows for sure, and just a really awesome musician overall too. So
he is. Yeah, I got to see him play live at VGM Con 2020, the last event that I was at before everything closed down.
Yeah, that was like the very last one for everybody, I think.
Were you there too?
No. I wasn't there. I've only been to MagFest once, and that's the only video game music convention I've been to, sadly.
Which one was it?
MagFest 10. So way back in 2012.
Wow.
Yeah. That's the one Nobuo Uematsu was at.
Oh my god. Oh my god. That's amazing. That is incredible.
Yeah, we got to.
I can't believe you haven't gone back every year. You just knew like nothing could top that, I guess.
No. Like they've gotten so many other bands that I absolutely adore. Like, who did they get there? Oh, they got the Sonic Adventure composer Jun Senoway.
Yeah.
A few years ago, Machine Supremacy, one of my favorite metal bands, played there. Also, and it's like, I love to go back, but I live in Arizona. So it's difficult to go cross country once a year and to do that. So as much as I would love to.
6-hour drive.
Yeah.
Maybe more than that.
It is a little. Yeah, I think
like
actually it's no. It's more like a 10-hour drive, because MagWest is like northern-ish.
Right.
I believe like Central California, San Jose. Yeah, so it's a little trickier, even still. But I'd love to go back so much. And VGM Con looks really awesome too, and I really like that. It seems like that one has a great atmosphere.
Yeah, it really does. That was one of the first ones I did a year in 2019, and they were like pretty small, a couple hundred people, and they pretty much more than doubled in size the next year.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, great guys and people who run that. Just, there aren't many cons that focus on video game music. I mean, there's MagFest and then the other Mag events, and then VGM Con, and then there's like events here and there, like the pop-up events. But
right
there, yeah, I definitely recommend it if you're in that area, Minneapolis, or if you're willing to make a trip. It's a lot of fun. They're doing an online one this year. America Conline. I think that's what it's called. It's great.
It's kind of interesting. I don't know where you're based.
I'm in Cleveland, Ohio.
Aha, okay. It seems like Minneapolis has become sort of a new kind of another hub of video game musicians and just VGM people in general. Because I know Emily Reese is in that area, and there's all sorts of other folks who are there, and it's kind of interesting to see that that area become such a draw for VGM.
Yeah, I wouldn't have expected that. It's a nice area. You got the country, the Midwest.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got the MagWest on the East Coast. You got MagWest on the West Coast. You got MagFest on the East, and Minneapolis seems like a good point for people who don't live anywhere near that to maybe be a little closer to something video game related. Plus, you got people from Chicago pretty close as well.
Right. Yeah.
Like the VG Lead Sheets folks. Some of them are in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
And they come out to Minneapolis and help run the event.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just cool. Just cool to have all these events and all this stuff going on. I really hope that we can keep these things going after the cancellations all with last year and stuff. So
yeah, I hope so. I'm hopeful, and I think so. Really, last year too, with everything going online, it ended up bringing a lot of people together with like Virtual VGM Fest by Josh Pendlebury, and then Angaku, or Virtua Angaku Overdrive that Kent put together. Those like online events, and then we had VGM Together, another amazing online like con, which is massive.
Yeah,
and it's bringing people like all over the world into the community and connecting one another. And I think when the cons start again, that there's going to be a lot more people even who didn't know about these events that are going to be interested in going to them, and I hope they do. I definitely hope they do, because there's a lot. I think a lot of people don't realize that these events exist and might find, like they belong. I think a lot of people who might be listening to video game music on their own and don't have other friends who also like that stuff. I know that's kind of a theme in the VGM community, and going to these events and meeting other like-minded people is just a very, validating and fun feeling.
Oh yeah,
so
that's a very fulfilling experience to just be, rubbing shoulders with people who have the same love and appreciation for the same music that you do, and it's great. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
So,
absolutely.
All right, Rob. Well, I think that's gonna just about do it. Was there anything else you wanted to add or talk about before we get going here?
Check out VGM Conline. I will be playing at it. I haven't officially announced it, but depending on when this comes out, I'm not sure when this comes out, but I think it's April 20th. I should know the date, but I don't have it off the top of my head. But yeah, that's the online version of VGM Con, which you were just talking about. And,
excellent.
That's it. Other than that,
thanks
for having me on.
Oh, no problem. Where can the people find your Twitch streams and social media and your music? Of course, the music.
They can check out my personal website, robkovacsmusic.com. That's all my stuff, but mostly my original stuff. And then the 88-bit stuff is 88bitmusic.com. And then Twitch is twitch.tv/robkovacs. I pretty much have a different handle now for every social media platform. I'm on Twitter at just 88bit. I'm on Instagram at 88bitmusic. So that it's getting all messed up.
It's all, it happens sometimes. It happens.
Yeah. So it's if someone who has the same social media tag for all of them, it's pretty rare.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I get lucky in that sense, but that's that's rare.
Okay.
Yeah, I generally tend to be like, if it's Kyle JCRB anywhere online, it's me. But that seems to be rare for a lot of people.
That's good. No, that's good that you have that. Hold on to that.
Yeah, I am. I've been holding on to it for most of my internet life. So
that's good. You got in the internet early, so you.
Yeah, I did. Things have changed considerably since then. Just like things have changed with video game music, actually.
Yes, it has. Quite a bit from the 80s. Yeah.
But now we're getting a lot of throwbacks and a lot of games made in the style of old school NES and Super NES games and Sega Genesis games even, and it's a great time. It's a great time for video game music now too, especially if you're into that old school style stuff. So.
Yeah, I would agree. Can't disagree there.
For sure. All right. Well, thanks, Rob, for coming on the show today.
Kyle, thanks for having me. This was a blast.
Awesome to have you on. Thank you.
Well, all right. Yeah, thank you.
NGI.
right there, you just heard a triple shot of tracks from 88-Bit, aka Rob Kovacs. Big thanks to him for coming on the show and talking with me, having a good interview there where we talked about all sorts of fun stuff and our mutual love for video game music. You just heard 3 tracks from him. The most recent one you just heard was The End from the Adventures of Lolo, which is a game he seems to love, but we didn't even mention. It's like, what are we doing? And then before that, he has a piano arrangement right there. Nice piano arrangement of Bloody Tears from Castlevania 2, Simon's Quest, a classic song. And then another game we didn't talk about at all, RC Pro-Am. That was the complete soundtrack on piano for RC Pro-Am. And that's a game that I love personally. I have always been a big fan of RC Pro-Am. I don't know why we didn't bring any of these things up. Oh well, we were too busy geeking out about Marble Madness, I guess. Either way, big thanks to Rob yet again for being on the show. And hope you enjoyed a little bit of a taste of his music. You know, be sure to go check out his YouTube channel. That's where most all of his music has been posted. So if you just search for 88-Bit, or go down into the show notes following the release of the show over on KNGI.org, you'll find all the links to his stuff over there. Or you can just head on over to 88bitmusic.com. I believe is the website. If I am not mistaken. Yep, 88bitmusic.com. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and shift gears a little bit into this week's featured album. Pixel Mixers have put out a brand new release called Sounds of Sunrise. This is an arrangement compilation by a variety of Pixel Mixers artists covering the games Okami and Okami-den. You guys like Okami and Okami-den, right? I mean, I still haven't even played them, but hey, that's okay. I don't need to play them to enjoy the music and the sweet, sweet remixes by the fine people over at Pixel Mixers. Head on over to pixel-mixers.com. You can pick this one up for free. I do recommend it. It's very nice. It's a very nice album. It's not too long. It's not like hugely long, so this music is getting frantic. This music is going crazy. Anyway, before it gets too crazy, let's go ahead and get into some stuff from Pixel Mixers, Sounds of Sunrise, featuring Okami and Okami-den music. Let's go ahead and get into it right now, starting off with Jarito, Gamer of the Winds, and Sexto Sounds, all coming together. This one's called Cherry Blossom Shower. Don't go away. It's Nitro Game Injection. right there was some Okami in the form of Sounds of Sunrise, a Pixel Mixers album. You can find that over at pixel-mixers.com, available as a free download. You can find the full album over there. If you enjoyed those tracks, then you should probably go grab this one too. Go grab this album. Why not? It's free, and it's good stuff, especially if you enjoy Okami. Last one you just heard right there was Two Players for Life with Ryoshima Coast. In the middle there we had Lacey Johnson with Susano's Battle. And then starting us off there was Dorito, Gamer the Wins, and Sixto Sounds, aka Juan Medrano, with Cherry Blossom Shower. So, there you go. There's you a little bit of Okami. And we're going to keep right along cruising, because we're not quite at the end of the show yet, but we're getting there, so... And I am going overtime because of the issues at the beginning of the show that totally didn't happen. You did nothing, there was no delay in actually starting the show properly or anything, nothing at all. No problems at all. I'm just running late because I feel like it. So, let's go ahead and rock. This is Nostalgica with Super Mario Brothers. Keep it here. It's Nitro Game Injection. That right there was something a little bit short and sweet from DSC. That was Facility from GoldenEye 007. Just a nice straight up rock cover of that track. I'm into it. I'm into it. And then before that we had Travis Morgan with twitch.tv/Zosty from Travis's new album VGM 06, Cowabunga. That's from the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles NES game. Love that soundtrack, by the way. I mean, all the Turtles games have freaking great music. All the retro ones, at least. You can pick that one up. It's a very short EP over at vgmseries.bandcamp.com. That's a super short EP. Just 3 tracks, I believe. And, hey, you know, got a nice shout out there for famed speedrunner Zosty, Super Metroid speedrunner, Zost, who used to do video game music remixes, but hasn't done them in a long time, I don't believe. I think now he's just more focused on doing speedrun stuff. So, I believe he's the current world record holder for Super Metroid speedrun? Could be wrong about that. I know he has held that record in the past, if he does not currently hold it. And he holds many other variations on Super Metroid. So, that's pretty cool. It's been a long time since I talked to that dude, though. But, yeah, his remixes are classics. I love his, he did a lot of acoustic-driven guitar stuff way back in the day. Like, this is like 2005, 2006. So, yeah. Cool to, you know, have that name crop up again. Even if it's not in the form of more Zosty music, it's just, you know, his name in a different song. That's cool. That's cool. And then Nostalgic is starting us off there with the overworld theme from Super Mario Brothers, with a little bit of YYZ in there. Or, well, YYZ. Whatever you want to call it. Just a tad. Just a tad. Just a little bit. I like how creative that one is, you know? That's a song that doesn't get over remixed, I guess, but it seems like it does. And I don't know, it's a hard one to arrange. It's one of the most famous video game music pieces of all time, but it's a I don't know, it's one that people don't seem to touch as much. And I don't know, it's interesting, the Super Mario Brothers theme in terms of video game music. Just thinking about it on the wider scale, it's kind of unique, actually. There really isn't anything quite like it. So, anyway, that's going to do it for this edition of Nitro Game Injection. I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode. Once again, big thanks to 88bit, aka Rob Kovacs, for coming on and chatting with me for a while. That was very awesome. Be sure to go check out his Twitch streams, too. Yeah, I believe he takes VGM requests and all sorts of other cool stuff. So links will be all in the show notes, and you can find them there. So I have 2 songs left to close us out. First up is a track from the Commodore 64 game Last Ninja 3 called Earth. This one's from Dr. Future. Of course, you can find this one over at remix.kwed.org. That's KWED.org. Head on over there, grab you some C64 arrangements, and enjoy them. Even if you're not familiar with the games, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And then finally, to close us out, will be Elena Gingertail with her arrangement of In the Blood from Hades. Yes. I feel like that's a good way to end this one. Thanks everybody for tuning in to the 453rd episode of Nitro Game Injection. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. Apologies for the technical issues at the beginning of the show that totally didn't happen. Didn't happen at all. If you're listening to this later, they didn't. Nothing happened. You didn't. Nothing. Don't worry about it. Anyway. I am going to head out of here because it's been a day. It's been a day. Oh, what a day. So, anyway, I am going to leave. Patreon.com/KNGI if you want to support the show and help me to not die. KNGI.org. You can find all the archived episodes of NGI and a whole bunch of other cool shows there to listen to. And I will be back next week. And I think next week might be something fun. There's a movie coming out. A video game related movie. I'm not like interested in the movie really at all. But for some reason I got this weird hankering to do a show based around that movie. Or a show based around that movie, the franchise of that movie. So, yeah. It's gonna be good. There's gonna be some combat next week, I think. Some delicious combat. It's gonna be very mortal. I'm thinking. So, we'll see. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I will see you next time. It's April 16th, 2021, by the way. I'm Kyle JCRB, and I'm leaving. Bye!
You've been listening to Nitro Game Injection.